It's time for the local news leader, the Neighborhood Network News.
A California millionaire is trying to scale down bilingual education in Massachusetts. Over the past 3 years, Ron Unz has given money to successful referendums against bilingual ed in California and Arizona. He wants to replace teaching in a student's first language with a single year of special classes for learning English. With our report is Rowland.
Strongest advocates, and I certainly believe that the children of Massachusetts will improve their test scores in the same way if this measure gets on the ballot and passes, and I feel strongly that it will.
Meet Ron Unz. He led the repeal of bilingual education in California, and now he has some allies who want to end it here.
Rather typical. As a principal of a public school, I have also seen the incredible damage and the stunting of academic growth that one sees when children are taught in their native tongue for too long.
Their ballot initiative calls for sheltered English immersion, but bilingual education has its defenders.
We have parents and we have students, products of bilingual education, who believe that the answer is not to end it, but to mend it.
In fact, we should launch an initiative to require all children learn more than one language in the city of Boston.
My first language is Spanish. My second language is English. My children's first language is English. Their second language is Spanish. There's nothing wrong with knowing more than one language.
Unz claims supporters of bilingual education heavily outspent him in California, but he's willing to spend about $200,000 here.
I was impressed with the number of green signs. There was a lot of green out there earlier today. Ron Unz has a lot of green, and he's going to be spending that green.
The green Representative Barrios refers to is the millions Ron Unz made in computers. And that's proof Unz says that he knows what it takes for economic success.
But over the last 20 or 30 years, English has become the world's unofficial international language. The language of science, the language of technology, the language of business, the language people are being taught in some of the best Mexican schools and some of the best European schools. I think they should be taught that same language in American schools.
Rowland, Neighborhood Network News.
And joining us in the studio is Rowland. Joe, to begin with, about the man from California, who is he?
Ron Unz. His opponents, and there were a lot of them there today, they held a dueling press conference, called him eccentric and bizarre. He ran for governor of California, lost to Pete Wilson. He made a lot of money in Silicon Valley and went to school locally here at Harvard. And he's launched successful anti-bilingual education campaigns in both California and Arizona. He won big in both.
Given my sense of the demographics in California and Arizona, I think California percentage-wise might even, for all I know, have more immigrants than Massachusetts does. If it could win there, it could probably win here.
It sure looks like it. Again, he was winning 61% in California, 63% in Arizona. Massachusetts has a lot of first-generation immigrants, but given the trend of things blowing across the country, it looks good to win here.
Different people have different opinions about this issue, but does it work the way Mr. Unz would like to see it done? How successful has it been in California?
Unz says it works. He claims great improvements, 40% improvements on test scores. He claims converts from leaders of the Bilingual Education Teachers Association. And Unz was actually a moderate in California. As I say, when he ran against Pete Wilson, Wilson had this Prop 187 to deny benefits to illegal immigrants. Unz fought against that, and a lot of Republicans think, geez, we would have been better off if Unz had won rather than Wilson, because Wilson's gotten Republicans in big trouble with Latino voters nationwide.
So far, Unz, I think he has one Cuban-American, one Italian-American backing him, but I hardly see this overwhelming consensus among, let's say, Latino and Asian people that they're flocking to his proposal.
Not based on the people he had out there today. He had a principal from Chelsea's public schools and also from BU, which has a role in Chelsea's public schools.
Professor of political science who has studied the issue for a number of years.
And some other Latino women who had, another Latino woman from Newton who had written a book on the subject.
All right, thank you very much for being with us, Joe. Up ahead, we'll have more news after a look at the weather.